Royce will be able to break down this runaway victory for OKC over the Houston Rockets.
On November 8, 2024, the Houston Rockets suffered a blowout loss in Oklahoma, their fourth loss on the season. In recent years, the Thunder had turned the fortunes of their franchise around, acquiring a wealth of assets through a series of smart trades and consistently hitting on the draft picks. According to the national media, they were this year's favorites to come out of a deep and talented Western Conference. The Rockets left Oklahoma for the home of Motown, Detroit, for a Sunday matinee game that pitted the top two picks from the 2021 NBA draft against each other.
They have been playing against each other since high school. There's a great clip going around of Cade Cunningham sort of playfully smacking Jalen in the face after he makes a play in the game, and Jalen's on the sideline watching, and you see Jalen get mad. But they don't like each other. It seems like they don't like each other. They're always
like
talking
healthy
shit to each other.
competitiveness. Yeah.
Yes, bring me my shotgun. Yes, man, in a pocket full of shells.
Matchups against Cade Cunningham had brought out the most competitive side of Jalen Green long before they met in the NBA.
Full court pressure applied from Coach Casey's squad.
16 now in the third for Grant. Green cleared for takeoff.
My goodness, no shot blocker on the floor. Cade Cunningham in the vicinity. Jalen not sure if he turned and said something to Cade Cunningham. Blows right by him. I mean, his head is hitting the backboard. My goodness. Time for takeoff, and he's yelling.
And they called him for a technical foul for maybe hanging on the rim.
Well, he says something to Cade.
Oh, maybe that was it right there.
I mean, it depends on what they're saying. I'll talk too, but it depends on what they're saying for real. Nothing that I heard tonight held any real weight to me. It was just all for cameras, I feel like. So I wasn't really tripping on anything. I was just trying to play the game.
Against Cade. Turns to the basket, lays it up, lays it in, kissed the glass on the way, and that's enough, says J.B. Bickerstaff. He will take a timeout.
Jalen Green found himself with a chance to posterize Cade Cunningham once again after an Amen Thompson steal led to a 2-on-1 fast break opportunity at the start of the fourth quarter.
Poke away, and Jalen Green gets inside for a jam.
Let's hear the play itself, because it's wonderful.
And then Thompson this time with the
Stole
defensive
the ball.
play. Now finds Jalen Green. Oh, he did it. Oh, he did it. Oh, no, he did not.
Screamed in his face and got the text too, the taunting text.
Screamed in his face. If you didn't know better, if you just heard that, it sounds like a WWE clip, and somebody just got body slammed.
Now finds Jalen Green.
Oh my goodness!
No, he did it.
Filipino legend Jalen Green. Cade, come on. You gotta make a business decision and get out of there, my guy. You could never, in your wildest dreams, jump with this guy.
Jalen Green got another one over on his rival, but Houston struggled to take control of the game.
Just like that, 12 becomes 6.
Cade against Green to the basket. Double clutch lefty, scoop and a score.
The Pistons hung around as the Rockets' offense sputtered down the stretch.
It's off the rim, batted around, pulled away by Tari Eason, missed on the stick-back try. Rockets by 2 thanks to his 3. Cade to the basket, scores it, off the window, and draws another foul. Really having trouble against the big man. Tough ball away. All air, saved by Tari Eason though, to Dylan Brooks for a dunk. What a play by Eason.
And what a play by Brooks.
Cade over Eason with a rainbow. Off it comes to Tobias. Cade comes to get it. Pushed off the ball by Van Vliet. Decisions.
Not a bad play by Van Vliet. All right, so we'll get a chance to see a little bit of philosophy here. Oh, no.
Off the glass, picked up in the corner, Jaden Ivey misses, and he's fouled with 1 second left. How do you miss this one on purpose?
Wow, he has to. 1.1, he absolutely has to. And they've got to really push and try and get a tap in.
Horn sounds, the game's over.
After narrowly escaping with a win, it was time for the team to head back to H-Town where they would face the Washington Wizards on the second night of a back-to-back. Alex Sarr, the top pick in that year's draft, was frequently left defending Sengun one-on-one, a task he wasn't ready for.
Again, Alfred Sengun is just having his way with the rookie.
Yeah,
Sarr just does not know what to do with him defensively.
He doesn't get the position defense. He's out of position every time.
Houston. They have the look. I know the look. They have the look. 3rd defensive rating, 11th offense. The Terror Twins, Amen Thompson and Tari Eason, they come in and they flip these games. They just have so much athleticism and so much defense between those two. They're terrifying. It's a little like what Orlando had last year. It's a little like what OKC has sometimes. And I just think defensively, there's really something here. Houston, to me, is a top 5 team in the West. I'm taking them very seriously, and I love the Terror Twins.
The Terror Twins, is that going to stick? Are we still
I don't know.
Terror
We'll see.
Twins?
I cannot take credit for that. I cannot take credit for Sengun. Another terrific ball game. 27-17 for him. There's another steal.
Gosh, this isn't fair.
6 Rockets in double figures here tonight. 60 paint points. 22 of 25 shooting at the free throw line, and just incredible defense tonight from Amen Thompson and Tari Eason. Another big double-double from Alperen Sengun, and the Rockets lead this thing wire to wire.
James Harden returned to H-Town on November 13th as a member of the Los Angeles Clippers, for the first of 2 games in the building where his jersey will one day be hung from the rafters. He had been given the reins of his new team after the departure of Paul George and Kawhi Leonard's consistent injuries. He was the system, and Los Angeles were faring much better than the critics and naysayers had predicted.
Zube.
What were the 1800s like? I got it. Come on. James, tell the truth, James. Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Harden was fucking useless against Houston. Between Brooks and then the Terror Twins, like it was just, you could kind of see him like, I'm tapping out. I don't like this. I'm not having a good time.
Oh, DB!
Good no call there from the officials.
Wide open is Thompson, looking for his second three in the game. Man, Thompson has made 2 threes.
You told me this summer that you worked on your shot for hours and hours a day. How are you seeing that pay off?
Was that my career high in threes in the game too?
Yeah.
It don't sound like much, but I feel like there's a lot more to come. And I'm just always proud of myself. I always put in that work, so yeah.
How are you seeing this team's chemistry come together?
Coming together great, man. I feel like, I told you we're a family. And you can see that on the court. We got each other's backs, so it's been great.
I said on his read, now don't shoot you, little woman. My double-barrel shotgun, it just won't fire.
The Houston Rockets were rounding into good form as they faced the Clippers again, 2 days later, for their first game in that year's Emirates NBA Cup.
Welcome to the Rockets' first game in this season's NBA Cup as part of West Group A with Ryan Hollins and Vanessa Richardson. I am Craig Ackerman. It's the Rockets and the Clippers again tonight here from Toyota Center.
It was just the second installment of the competition, and in its flagship year the prior season, LeBron James guided the Los Angeles Lakers to victory in the final game. The concept of a secondary competition is common in many sports and countries around the globe, but the lack of familiarity with this across the big three sports has led to a widespread confusion and lack of enthusiasm for the NBA Cup from American audiences so far.
And I know some people, there's still a lot of eye rolls and groans about it, but there was additional interest, the metrics the league took in those particular games here in the regular season. There was added intensity coming from the players in those games, so I'm looking forward to it. And for a team like the Rockets, who still have so many young players who frankly have yet to win, even get to the playoffs yet in their careers, to have games that they're playing for something, even though it's just the NBA Cup.
And get it back and get it back. Look at him.
Tari Eason tied him up, ripped the ball away from the beard. But the point I was trying to make about the NBA Cup, I think it is a good thing, especially for a team like the Rockets, to play in some games that have a little bit more meaning, where there is something really on the line for a group that wants to ultimately this season get to the point where they are play in, or hopefully better than that, play off games this season, as this group has continued to build and work and develop over the years now in their second season under Ime Udoka. And here comes Powell rolling to the lane. And then Jabari ends up fouling him with 4:20 to go in the half. Second game in a row for these two teams here at Toyota Center, Ryan, and the Rockets are looking for win number 4 in a row.
Yeah, they are, and it's been their rebounding and defense, and just that confidence continues to grow with the young team.
Şengün to the hot hand.
Why not?
Why not? Another one! Find the guy with the hot hand!
The format, a 5-game group stage followed by an 8-team single-game elimination tournament, allows for a level of unpredictability and randomness that would usually be lacking in the early stages of a long, 82-game regular season.
Van Fleet from Şengün, his look at a three is good. The Rockets now are just raining him down from the heavens.
This is fun.
We talked to Jalen and Alfred today about the NBA Cup and its potential motivation. Alfie said, look, the motivation is a championship. I don't think it's about money or anything. It's just about getting the cup, getting that winning feeling, because one day we're going to get the real cup. Meanwhile, Jalen Green said, look, overall it's motivation because of what we are trying to accomplish, and that is get to the playoffs. He said adding a cup game in there, going to Vegas, a little money, yeah, it's some motivation for the cup game. It's going to be exciting and a fun time. So Craig and Ryan, it's not as much about the money and the trip to Vegas as some people may think. Yes, those things are great, but it truly is competition and getting this Rockets team closer to the playoffs that is motivating them.
It's the lob, Jalen Green, on top of Harden's head.
The Houston Rockets blew out the Los Angeles Clippers by 21 points in their first Cup game of the year thanks to a balanced team effort led by Jabari Smith Jr.'s most efficient and productive offensive performance of the season.
We got all the pieces. We got great coaches, great fan base. We got everything. You know what I'm saying? We just got to keep putting it together, keep growing, and keep trusting each other.
Fantastic game, Jabari.
Thank you.
28 points, 11 rebounds for Jabari Smith Jr. as the Houston Rockets thump the Los Angeles Clippers.
Hey, bro. Stop calling me.
While his teammates were enjoying success in the NBA, Cam Whitmore was in Rio Grande Valley, playing for the Houston Rockets G League affiliate, the Vipers.
One for all. One, 1, 2, 3.
Let's go. Get it.
One day I was on the ground when I needed a hand, then it couldn't be found. I was so far down that I couldn't get up, you know, and one day I was one of life's losers. Even my friends, my accusers, in my head, lost before I began.
I did not call you. You called me twice. You're blowing up my phone. That's enough. That's enough.
By Noel. Noel behind the back, and Whitmore scores.
On many teams in the league, his athleticism and ability to score the ball would earn him a spot in the rotation. But with the wealth of talent on Ime Udoka's roster, there wasn't enough playing time for Cam to get regular minutes. He would be recalled to the main roster as Houston set out on a short Eastern Conference road trip to Chicago and then Milwaukee.
There's other guys, because there are some high-volume shot guys on this team. You know, Van Fleet's going to get his up. Şengün's going to get a bunch of shots. Jalen Green's going to get a bunch of shots. Dylan Brooks never saw one he didn't like. So, you know, you got a number of guys that are going to get him up, and I guess there's just only so many shots to be had.
This is the challenge of building around like 8 prospects. Some of them are going to fall through the cracks. And by the way, maybe even Cam Whitmore falls through the cracks just by virtue of this team is developing an identity around certain guys. And if you're not a part of it, then you reevaluate.
Cam Whitmore didn't play in the blowout win and would return to Rio Grande Valley shortly afterwards. Due to the depth of the Rockets, they were still being discussed as trade candidates anytime a superstar player was rumored to be looking to force a trade. The Milwaukee Bucks had got off to a slow start to the season, and there were reports that the Greek Freak could be the next big name on the trade market. Houston Rockets fans were, largely, not very keen on the idea of this move and were relieved when Kelly Iko reported that Houston weren't interested in breaking up their young core to pursue Giannis.
The Athletic is reporting the Rockets are not interested in breaking up their core for Bucks forward Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I think it would be a strangely unpopular trade. Like, I didn't love when the Rockets traded for Charles Barkley, and they had a young core and they broke it up. But I didn't like it. But even though I didn't like that trade and I was against it, when you have a star player, like, there's something fun. There's something different. There's something, holy crap, you know, what could we be with Giannis? The only way you can realistically is say, what would you want if you're the Bucks? Would you want Jalen Green and Steven Adams and Jeff Green?
No, you would want
Smith?
LP.
No.
You would want LP.
It starts with Alpi, and then you want either Tari or Ahmed.
Yeah.
You got to have both those guys. Nope. And right now, I'm not doing it. They've got the makings of getting to a very high level right now. Now, how you click the tumblers in place, that's for Rafael Stone and Ime Udoka. What I am worried about is, could a trade where you get rid of so many young core players be a misstep and you accidentally close a window a little bit on yourself, just slightly? I am worried about that.
Perhaps a game-saving block by Giannis. Final few seconds.
No timeout from Doc. He's going to go with it.
They got 2 to work with. Dame off the bounce against Brooks. Dame driving inside. Kicks it to go. Van Vliet taking it out. 2 seconds to work with. Şengün off his hands. Time is ticking. That'll
take it any way you can get it.
Too bad it belonged to me. It was the wrong time and not meant to be. Took a long time and I move on now. I can see the day that I bleed for nothing to be. There's a need to play again, to win again. I'm winning.
Houston flew back home where they warmed up for the next game in the Emirates NBA Cup against Portland with a 17-point win over the Indiana Pacers.
Houston is playing as good as anybody in the league right now. They got a lot of good defenders, scrappy dudes. They're a really balanced team. Their bench is playing high level right now. I mean, their starters are too. Obviously, this is a tournament game. This is a cup game. Say what we want, it means more. All right, it just means more. All right, we've done well so far. We 1-0, beat Minnesota. It's going to be a big game. I think they're 1-0 as well. Make them play half court, we rebound, we get out of here with a win. All right, let's go, baby. Let's go. Together on 3, 1, 2, 3. Together.
Their second cup game would be the first of a back-to-back doubleheader against the Trailblazers, who were without DeAndre Ayton and Scoot Henderson. After a sluggish opening 6 minutes, the Rockets took the lead on a Dillon Brooks drive and didn't relinquish the lead the rest of the way.
Brooks driving it inside, got physical with a chicken wing and laid it in with the right hand.
The guy I really want to hear your thoughts on, though, is Amen Thompson. His defense and athleticism is unbelievable.
One thing I like about him, he doesn't take shots he can't make. You know, he's not a guy that's got super high skill level offensively. He can defend anybody on the court. Plays really hard. He's actually, pretty good at like ball movement. He's got other ways of putting the ball in the basket, and he never takes a ton of shots, but he does so many things to help you win, and he fits right in with the mold of player Ime Udoka wants.
And you pair him alongside Dillon Brooks, who is just another, we know he's a stooge, but the guy plays incredibly good defense and really, really hard. Pair him with Amen Thompson. You have Tari Eason. You've got a lot of guys you can throw out there on the court for the Rockets that I would hate to go up against those guys. They disrupt everything. They play incredibly tough. You have to be on your P's and Q's.
I had a dream, but it turned to dust. And what I thought was love, that must have been lust. I was leaving us down when the walls fell in. When I played my hand, I looked like a joker. Turn around, fate must have woke up, 'cause lady love, she was waiting outside the door. I'm winning, yeah. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning, and I don't wanna tell, I'm losing again.
They held Portland to just 88 points with their stifling defense that was starting to become recognized as one of the best in the league. With a second blowout win, the Rockets were sitting safely atop their group, and a win against the Minnesota Timberwolves in their third cup game would guarantee them a spot in the quarterfinals.
Denny knocks down both free throws. Blazers with a lead here of 3:16 and 6:10 seconds remaining.
Houston can go quick too, but if they run the clock down, they're going to be in a pressure situation to get a three off.
Van Vliet forced one up over Kamara. It's picked up by Simon. He throws it out in front of Sharp, racing into the lane, and Thompson reaches in and cuts him with a foul.
Wow. Oh, boy. Wow. I did not expect that attempt like that from Van Vliet. It looked like he tried to sell the call more than take his normal shot. Communicates the things to lean into, and that's a foul. They're on 5, Kevin, 4.3 seconds. And he's going to get this away from the play foul. Oh, Van Vliet almost just hit the ref. Whoa. He got ejected, didn't like the call.
You're going to get suspended.
What happened, though, y'all?
He was unhappy about a call. Said, fuck you, you was a bitch.
Bitch!
Fucking bitch.
Does he look like a bitch?
You was a bitch.
Oh, that's what it's about to call.
He did the Joe King.
And then James and Noah exchange words.
Yeah.
These two have had a history over the years. They're going back and forth with each other verbally.
Minneapolis, it's time to hear you howl for your Minnesota Timberwolves.
No, this is not the Kids' Choice Awards. Or the secret of the
Green slime out there, baby.
This is beautiful, Jim Pete. Don't go safe. You got too many grays out there. Give me crazy. I like the green.
Action was heating up in the Emirates NBA Cup. The Houston Rockets traveled to the Twin Cities looking for their third consecutive win in the tournament that would guarantee them a spot in the quarterfinals. The Timberwolves were experiencing the most successful and promising era of basketball in the franchise's history. Edwards and Gobert headed a long and athletic roster that had just reached the Western Conference Finals behind an intimidating and almost unsolvable defensive game plan. There were indications, however, that the peak of this team was only a brief one and that they were already on the decline in the increasingly competitive Western Conference. The team's ownership is still unclear as a legal battle between Glenn Taylor and legendary shortstop Alex Rodriguez continues. Over the summer, the team parted ways with Karl Anthony Towns, a player described by his teammates and himself as the best shooting big man in the history of the NBA. This was an obvious cost-cutting move and they were struggling to adjust with Cat's replacement, Julius Randle, continuing to play the only way he knows how. The new-look Wolves were just 8-8 on the season and looked far from the dominant team that grabbed the basketball world's attention during the 2024 playoffs.
On the baseline now, picks up his dribble. Jalen Green, the blow-by and the easy lay-in, and Chris Finch calls time.
The team had recently suffered a 14-year playoff drought but had achieved moderate success when Kevin Garnett dragged them to a 6-game defeat to the 2004 Los Angeles Lakers in that year's Western Conference Finals after 7 consecutive years of first-round playoff exits. Between 1989 and 1997, the Rockets were 30-11 over the young Minnesota franchise. All-time, Houston holds a dominant 90-53 advantage over the Timberwolves, but in recent years, during the rebuild, Minnesota have regularly gotten the better of the Houston Rockets.
Pocket pass, Gobert rejected. What a swat by Smith.
That's good play. Putting 2 on the ball.
The 2024 Cup game played between the Rockets and Timberwolves appeared as if it was going to live up to the hype during the first half. The players and crowd brought an intensity that is usually reserved for the postseason, helping create an electric atmosphere that Ime Udoka's young team fed off of.
Another look there at the West Group A standings. Again, the Wolves not entirely out of it, but they need to win this ball game, win on Friday.
Merry Sprite to all, and to all a good Sprite.
Get out of the way.
Was that Anthony Edwards in a Christmas Sprite commercial?
We'll get out of the way for Ant. Oh, man, that was great.
A former Rockets player sat in the commentary booth for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Jim Peterson, who the Rockets drafted out of Minnesota in 1984, played his first 4 seasons in Houston.
My role is to play 20 minutes a game, come in and rebound, hit the open jump shot, be a hustler, a tough defender.
As the primary backup for the Twin Towers, Peterson saw frequent playing time filling in for the often injured Sampson and the frequently suspended or ejected Hakeem. His competent play when replacing one of the team's stars earned him the nickname, the Ivory Tower. He retired from basketball in 1992 and began his broadcast career in radio in 1998 and has now been with the Timberwolves broadcast team for over 20 years.
Jim Pete, what do you got?
Well, thank you, Katie. You got to value the possession. I mean, that's one of the things that Minnesota has to do virtually on the season. And so, 7 turnovers in that second quarter, 12 in the first, 9 in the first half, 12 points off turnovers was a problem. And 3-point defense, they gave up 10 threes to a team that doesn't make a lot of threes. So a lot of those came in kind of broken floor situations. So you got to match up and get a little bit more contest on those shots. And then also, the hustle plays are going to win this game because Houston is a team that dominates the hustle point columns each and every night. So, they may not shoot, Michael, the greatest here in the second half, Houston, but they are going to compete until the end of this game. They are going to offensive rebound the basketball, and they are going to defend you at a high rate.
Şengün getting in his bag. Randall inside. No, the follow slam by Rudy Gobert.
It's a hard job.
Şengün has it batted away, recovers and scores.
After a quiet first half, Alperen Şengün repeatedly went at Rudy Gobert to begin the third quarter, keeping momentum on the side of the Houston Rockets.
He's a scorer on the roll, and he's done that here in the quarter. He's got that unorthodox style. He's got a great touch, and he's got great footwork, and he's putting it on display here in the third quarter against Rudy Gobert.
Serving it up on a platter. Highlight for Jalen Green. Rockets up by 12. Long way to go. Anthony Edwards puts it in. Randall. No good. Here's Van Vliet the other way. Rockets trying to add to their advantage. Brooks has been hot all game. Making a statement here at Target Center. It is 80-64. Jim Pete, we all know that Dillon Brooks is an agitator. Let's flash back to the summer. Team USA, Dillon Brooks just like walking right in front of Anthony Edwards during a media scrum. And Edwards' reaction is, Brooks. He's been ridiculous on both ends. Another one. Dillingham got a 3.
I love it.
Can that be a spark? Edwards over to Gobert. Clock winding down. Reed, money!
As the third quarter was coming to an end, Timberwolves rookie Rob Dillingham, a former teammate of Reed Shepherd's at Kentucky, sparked a run that helped Minnesota get back into the game as the fourth quarter got underway. Alperen Sengun was still causing Rudy Gobert problems as the two teams went back and forth down the stretch.
And now it's Sengun. Going at Gobert. Fades and hits.
When Finchie finds a lineup that works, he tends to stick with it. Naz Reid out here now for a fair amount of time. Does Julius Randle come back soon?
Here comes Randle off the bench. Again, Randle has gotten the better of that matchup with Sengun. Going at Fred VanVleet. On the drive, the blow by, and he got the roll.
And I gotta say, I mean, it's been the rookie that kind of changed the complexion of this game. When Minnesota was getting blown, he came into the game and changed the energy as Ant knocks down the free throw to give Minnesota the lead.
First lead for Minnesota since the 8:26 mark of the second quarter. Floater, it drops! It's Rob Dillingham's night! Minnesota on an 8-0 run. Lid is on the basket for the Rockets. Sengun over to VanVleet, sets the beat. Finally, the Rockets get a three. It's a 2-point ball game. This one not over yet. Trying to get out of trouble, lost it. Stripped by Thompson, down the lane. Thompson tied it up. All tied up, 102 all. Dillingham, the hezzy, and an offensive foul is called. They wave it off. Murat Kogut all over it. And now the Rockets with a major opportunity here. Around the Sengun screen, pocket pass, Sengun swatted out of there by Gobert. No timeout, under 10 to go. Edwards with the rock against Brooks. On the attack, down the lane, puts it up, off glass, no! Loose ball, and we're going to overtime.
Wow.
McDaniels knocked down on a hard screen. Thompson ties it up in the corner. Rockets can take back the lead. VanVleet to Smith, got the lay-in. Rockets back on top by 2. Sengun puts it up, wild shot. 7-0 Rockets run. Brooks puts it up with the left. It's been a tremendous ball game. Sengun looking for a backbreaker, got the bounce.
I mean, that's, if you're Rudy Gobert, you got to take that, remember that, put that in the memory bank. Because we're still going to see Houston a bunch more this season. This is just the first meeting.
What about this Rocket team? You see, for a young team, this could be a great confidence builder if they find a way to continue to advance and win this cup.
Alperen Sengun is one of my favorite power forwards in the league, even though he plays center at time. Tremendous feet work, plays with a lot of confidence. Ime Udoka has done a great job of teaching them how to play like a team. You know, last year was, Jalen and whoever. Now they're moving the ball. Everybody's getting their fair amount of shots, and they're playing very well.
After their most impressive victory of the season over the Minnesota Timberwolves, there was no opportunity for the Houston Rockets to rest. The team left Target Center and immediately boarded a flight for the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia.
Going back to Philly where I belong. Going back to Philly, been gone too long. Coming home, baby, can't take time on the phone. Going back to Philly where I belong. All right, yeah, all right, yeah.
Their game against the 76ers on the second night of a back-to-back had all the hallmarks of a schedule loss. However, Philadelphia had struggled early on in the season as injuries sidelined star player Joel Embiid and the newly acquired Paul George.
You know, it's challenging, especially for, you look at the guys that came here for that reason of playing alongside myself, Joel, and Tyrese, and we're asking them to do a lot in the absence of us. So it's tough. It's tough for me to watch that.
Former Rockets players Eric Gordon and KJ Martin were coming off the bench for the 76ers, and former general manager Daryl Morey was still in Philadelphia's front office, despite a tumultuous start to his career with the franchise that saw him burn bridges with his longtime muse, James Harden.
You think someday that you and Daryl will patch things up? No?
Jalen Green with all the threes for the Rockets so far this evening. 3 for 4 now from downtown.
He's got 13 early points here. We barely played one half of the first quarter.
All right. I've been everywhere from Miami to LA. I ain't been happy for one single day. When I get that feeling, got to roam. Going back to Philly where I belong. All right. All right. Going to Philly, I'm on my way. I should be there by the end of the day.
Remember, they played last night and traveled.
They didn't just play all, they went to overtime.
Indeed.
Talked to the broadcasting crew for the Rockets. They got into the city about 3 a.m., so they all went to bed between 4 and 5 a.m. and played really hard last night.
After they gained an early advantage, the Rockets weren't able to pull away and create distance between themselves and Philadelphia on the scoreboard.
Going back to Philly where I belong. Going back to Philly, been gone too long. Coming home, baby, can't take time to phone. Going back to Philly where I belong. All right, all right, I've been everywhere from Miami to LA. I ain't been happy for one single day. When I get that feeling, got to roam. Going back to Philly where I belong. All right, all right, going back to Philly, I'm on my way. I shouldn't be there by the end of the day.
With just under 2 minutes left in the game, Amen Thompson put Houston up by 8, and it seemed as if they would emerge victorious with careful play down the stretch of the game.
Gershon fakes the three. Gershon all the way to the rim. 3-point game.
Alperen Sengun had already dominated his matchups against the league's other French centers, and this game saw Gershon Yabusele get the start in place of the absent Embiid. The matchup had been a difficult one for Sengun, as Yabusele's size and strength caused him considerable problems throughout the game.
Maxey off 1 foot, and Tyrese Maxey is fouled by Dillon Brooks.
Could be 3 free throws.
Yes, it should. Let's see. And that is indeed the case.
One more look. The foul.
It's the second. And Tyrese hits all 3.
That's huge.
To tie us at 108. 7 to shoot.
Wow, they're keeping it in his hands.
4 to shoot. Şengün for the win. Blocked. Drummond grabs it. And we're headed to overtime here in South Philadelphia.
2 overtimes in 2 nights with about 1,000 miles in between. That could be taxing. You hope that the Sixers are the fresher of the 2 teams.
In overtime, Sengun took control. His finesse and skill were on full display as he powered the Rockets to their second overtime victory in as many days.
And how about the Houston Rockets? Second consecutive overtime victory on the road, knocking off the Sixers here tonight in South Philly by a final score of 122 to 115.
What are you most thankful for with this Rockets team?
Oh, the energy,
My teammates, they're just great people. Love them.
They flew back to Houston where a matchup against the #1 seeded team in the Western Conference awaited them. Oklahoma City had already blown out the Rockets early on in November, but the growth Houston had shown early on this season was considerable and they now held the second best record in the conference. They sat just one spot behind the Thunder.
And this very interesting and scintillating matchup tonight between #1 versus #2 in the West is officially underway. And it starts off with a running lob. This team defends like Houston does really, really well. And that's a good sign for Dillon Brooks.
The two franchises were both on the upsurge at the same time as they had both recently added multiple talented young players in recent drafts and looked positioned to surpass the current crop of dominant teams in the league that were made up of more established, veteran players. The front offices have historically enjoyed a friendly relationship as they have been regular trade partners in moves for superstar talent as well as smaller, under-the-radar transactions that have been mutually beneficial.
Oh, baby, you got what I need. You got everything I need. You're like medicine to me, oh, baby.
So you make the jump to the NBA on draft night. You know, you get drafted by Oklahoma, but then you immediately get traded to the Houston Rockets. And so you got introduced to the business side of the NBA.
Actually, I didn't want to go to OKC that much. And how I can say, they said, you're going to OKC, but my agency was in my table, you know. He said, you're going to OKC, but they're going to trade you in Houston. But I don't even know anything about Houston because I didn't even talk to them, you know. But they were telling me, OKC is so boring. I hope you're not going over there. And I think, you know, when they told me you're going to Houston, I was a little happy, you know, because something to do over there, people said.
Right.
I was lucky it's a lot of Turkish people over there too, so which just helped me a lot. So
I don't think you can find many Turkish people in Oklahoma.
Yeah,
no way.
Welcome back inside of Toyota Center, everybody. Ryan Hollins and Craig Ackerman with you as it's #1 versus #2 in the West. And that's kind of a half that we were expecting, a little bit higher scoring perhaps, but the Rockets in the second half, Ryan, they have to stay aggressive, keep attacking Oklahoma City.
They do, and defensively doing a better job of keeping Shea from getting going. He started to roll there in that second half, got to keep him outside of the lane, but the Rockets hitting the boards, playing some defense, getting those fast break points, but they have to finish opportunities and finish with multiple efforts.
The game is tied at 69. Nice.
Again, you knew tonight was going to be a dogfight. Oklahoma City, just a group that keeps working.
In a world of salty tears, so afraid and full of fears, so glad you saved me, dear. Save me, dear. You brought sunshine to my life. Things were wrong, you made them right. How did you do it, dear? Do it, dear. Oh, I'm thankful every day that you came away. And I hope and pray that you'll never, ever go away. 21 points and counting. You see assist-to-turnover ratio leaders this season. Fred VanVleet up there, #2 in the league, behind Tyus Jones, who, much like Fred, never turns the ball over. What really surprises me, Cam Johnson for the Nets.
Yeah, wow. How about Chris Paul still on that list?
He's 5 for 5. He hasn't missed at all. No misses.
Oh, I see you, big fella. We see you. Wait, best free throw defense in the league.
The double, the kick, this for the tie. Yes! Season high 31 for Fred VanVleet, and more importantly, has tied it up at $1.08.
The contest between the two teams was closely contested throughout. Inconsistent shooting from most of the roster led to Fred VanVleet taking matters into his own hands down the stretch.
Tap one by Houston. Go. Green on Williams. To VanVleet from the pocket. You got what I need. 3 points to the heavens.
Oh, baby. Oh, you got what I need.
Fred's got the hot hand. Shingo's been cleaning up.
Another one. No, not this time. And then Brooks,
you got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. Baby, you got it.
back to Şengün. Puts on the brakes. Works on Hartenstein. Falls down. Finds Brooks. Shoots for the lead.
How about Dylan Brooks?
How about Şengün falling on his rear end?
For the Rockets, you want to switch and stay home.
Hartenstein, the inbounder, comes into Gilgeous-Alexander, defended by Tariq. Breaks him off the dribble, rises up, foul line shot, no good! He missed it! Rebound Brooks!
Get it over.
They're playing keep away.
There you go.
Now make it officially 4.6 to go in the game. Ale stepped to the line with a chance to seal the deal.
All right.
And the Rockets have won the game! They beat the Oklahoma City Thunder in this matchup between number 1 versus number 2 in the West. Fred VanVleet had his best game of his season, and he's with Vanessa now.
Come on!
Fred, 38 points for you tonight. Why was it important for you to come out and set the tone?
Because we got young guys like that sometimes they need a little direction and a little leadership. So I just want to provide that. I liked our approach, our intensity. We're growing a little bit, and that was fun.
My real name is Amen. They call me Twin. They still call me Rook sometimes.
Alperen Şengün. They call me Alpi, Beast, Fantastic. They call me all this.
Frederick VanVleet. A lot of things, but bread with the bread.
The team quickly got back on the road, this time for a 3-game trip to the West Coast, with their first opponent being the Sacramento Kings in the final game of the group stage of the Emirates NBA Cup.
Houston coming off a win a couple of nights ago against the number 1 team in the NBA in the West, OKC.
Having already earned qualification, Houston was still hoping to earn home court advantage for the quarterfinal.
We weren't too happy about the officiating there. What was going on? What did you see out there on the floor that you was disappointed?
Missed calls, blatant missed calls right in front of you. You're calling ticky-tack, moving screens, and little shit like that, and then you don't want to call the obvious ones right in front of you. So that was it. Alpi got fouled a few times on that drive and on the layup, and they don't want to call it. And so I'm get some fucking glasses, open your eyes. Take your sensitivity and emotions out of it and call the game the right way. It's obvious right in front of you, and John Goble, whoever it was, sees it and doesn't call it, and I'm gonna let him know about it.
Oh, and Udoka just got ran, and we're gonna have some extra business happening here. Udoka's going after official John Goble.
Şengün is out too. He's got dejected. People are spending money for NBA charities here tonight. It is the season of giving. Mark Jones.
The league office getting some new furniture with these contributions. The Houston native, De'Aaron Fox, beating his hometown team.
Despite losing to the Kings, Houston still managed to enter the next stage of the Cup with home court advantage thanks to their impressive plus 40-point differential. Their opponent for the quarter-final would be their arch-rival, the Golden State Warriors, who also happen to be the next team on the Rockets' West Coast road trip. This regular season game would act as a preview of the upcoming Cup clash, but the Warriors would once again be without their star player, Steph Curry.
Lincoln and Mercedes-Benz, pop rockin' in Howard Johnson, Sheraton, pop lockin' at the Holiday Inn, pop rockin' in Hollywood, it's understood, while listening to the Mac, pop lockin' on Broadway, every day, to the preacher's ray. So rough, so tough, out here, baby, so rough, so tough, out here.
Draymond Green also sat for Golden State, but the Rockets weren't able to take advantage of their opponent's weakened roster. They continued their extended losing streak against the Warriors, which now stood at 15 in a row.
The Warriors 8 seconds away from beating Houston 15 straight times. Jabari Smith for 3. Rebound, and the losing streak is over at 5. The winning streak over Houston grows to 15. They'll see the Rockets again next week in the NBA quarterfinals. How did they win a game without Steph Curry, without Draymond Green, having lost 5 in a row? This, I think, has got to feel the best of any win they've had this year.
We've talked about whether or not this Rockets team is real.
Yeah.
You don't have Steph, you don't have Draymond, you still can't seem to get over this hump. Is this one of those games where it makes you doubt them?
No, sometimes you got to give credit where it's due. Jonathan Kuminga having a career high, 33 points. You got Andrew Wiggins who had a big night with 23. Like, on any given night, anybody can beat you. This is the National Basketball Association.
The Rockets flew into LA for a game against a hardened-less Clippers team at their new arena, the Intuit Dome.
Welcome back to Inglewood, California, everybody. We'll get you ready for the finale of this 3-game road trip for the Rockets.
Now joining the show, the Rockets star duo, high-flying swingman Jalen Green,
Texas
do-it-all
in the
big
building.
man Alperen Şengün. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here on NBA Today.
Appreciate you having us.
For both of you, I mean, what does a successful season look like this year for the Rockets?
I would say playoffs.
Yeah.
I think playoffs is the main goal for us, and then if we go even farther than that, then that's a bonus. But
what do you think?
Feels different too. You know, this season, like every game before the game, in the game, like communication, everything. You know, it's just been great, and that's just what we have to keep it up all season.
And after the Rockets posted back-to-back losses for the first time this season, they get right here in LA in their first ever game inside of the Intuit Dome in Inglewood as the two head coaches hug and exchange pleasantries.
The Rockets flew back home to Houston to prepare for their quarter-final clash against the Warriors. Although the team's ultimate goals for the season were the playoffs, the NBA Cup contest so far had provided a glimpse into the added intensity of the postseason, and now every game would be win or go home. The level of competition was still increasing.
Ernie, good evening from downtown Houston, where the Rockets are in the midst of a long-awaited franchise rebirth.
There is just one vacancy left in Vegas for the NBA Cup semis. Steph Curry and the Warriors will try to grab it in Houston. The Rockets have lost 15 straight to Golden State. Can Jalen Green and company end the streak and advance? Warriors and Rockets coming up.
But boy, it is good to see the Houston Rockets back on the TNT airwaves. It's been a long time. So what they did here last year, went from 22 wins, the 22-win team that Ime Udoka inherited last year, got them to 41 wins, finished last year 500. And the question now, Grant, can they take that next step? What a moment this would be if they can get to Vegas and knock off Golden State, a team that has beaten them 15 straight times, incredibly, going back to 2020 here tonight.
Yeah, and including 8 straight here in Houston. Houston, offensively, they struggle a little bit shooting the ball, but defensively, they have been outstanding. Number 2 rating in the NBA. And you got to go back to pre-COVID for the last time the Rockets beat the Golden State Warriors. It has been that long, back in February of 20. When does that, even though most of these guys weren't there, when does that get in a team's head?
Man, it definitely gets in your head, especially the last 2 times when they played Golden State without Curry. Golden State still beat them, so they're definitely in their head.
But at some point, if somebody come and smack you in your face 15 straight times, if you want to be taken serious, like I say, if you really want to be taken serious,
you wouldn't let them smack you 15.
That's exactly right.
But it wouldn't have got the 15. You got to hit back. At some point.
But you let them smack you 12,
You're playing at home. They're playing for this cup thing. This is tonight. The Rockets stop the streak.
Ime Udoka trimmed down to an 8-man rotation consisting of his regular starting lineup and then just Amen Thompson, Tari Eason and Aaron Holiday off the bench.
guys forced 7 turnovers in that first quarter. How important is your defense?
It's important. It's what we hang our hat on, and that's what we try to build our identity, speeding them up, making them turn the ball over.
Their defensive game plan worked to perfection during the first half as the Rockets held the Warriors to fewer than 20 points in each of the first 2 quarters.
Boy, look at that recovery. Thompson getting stiff at the rim, and a shot clock violation as the Rockets showing their stifling defense.
We had 6 shot clock violations.
Here comes Jalen Green, just nasty.
Oh, wow. Been in the league now 13 years. All games are not created equal, as you know, BD. Some games you're going to get up for more than others. Some games you're just not going to be able to find the juice over the course of an 82-game season. I don't get too high or too low on winning and losing a game, especially in December. But this game in particular, and I don't know why, and I think maybe it's the opportunity to play for something, you know, like just having the opportunity to compete for something is always special for me.
Golden State's competitive fire began to show as they went on a scoring run in the third quarter that propelled them into the lead, but Houston kept the game close.
Curry around a screen, loses Green in his wake. Waters doing his dance, walking a tightrope in the corner. Brooks the steal, all by himself. And Houston comes out throwing punches. Brooks into the paint for Eason. Contact. Thompson backdoor. Which of these 2 squads are headed to Vegas? Waters buries a corner 3. Thompson the swing. They get it to Smith. Buries a 3.
After Jabari Smith made a 3-point shot with just over 5 minutes remaining, the Rockets went on an inopportune scoring drought. 4 minutes later, Fred VanVleet made a 3, and with just 27 seconds left in the game, Sengun brought the Rockets to within a single point with a drive to the hoop. The Warriors didn't call a timeout as Steph Curry set up his offense, looking to put the dagger in Houston's NBA Cup run.
As Brooks chases Curry, and everyone's standing here in Houston. Curry steps back on the launch, he missed it. Fight for the rebound, Payton. Poked away, 5 seconds. Boy, does Green have possession? And Billy Kennedy says foul on the Warriors.
And Steve Kerr is in disbelief.
Golden State is out of fouls, and so that will result in free throws for Houston and Jalen Green. Unbelievable. And we are tied. Where you think to the crazy games these 2 have already played this season. Jalen Green, a 22-year-old budding star, has given the Rockets a 1-point lead with 3.5 left. The Rockets, the number 2 defensive rated team in the NBA. Do they have one more stop in them here tonight? Krajewski, the inbounder. Can't find anyone, gets it to Curry. Back to Krajewski, they got a piece, and it is over here in Houston. The Houston Rockets have punched their ticket to Las Vegas and the semifinal round of the NBA Cup.
I have not been as hurt as I was losing that, or am losing that game since 2016 in Game 7.
Yes! Oh, let me taste your tears, Scott. Your tears are so yummy and sweet.
The only time where I really felt like, dang, they just took what was ours. That's the only time I felt like, wow, something got taken from us. I haven't felt like that since then. And it's like, wow, this is our game, like, and we're competing for something. And then it just got taken away. For me, that was one that was like, it was a gut punch, man. Like, I couldn't really sleep after. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, the tears of unfathomable sadness. Yummy.
if I get to stop here, if I don't go for the pump fake there and give them 2 free throws, we was up 7. We get to stop there now. We possibly go up 9 or 10, right? And so you start like recounting every single play, like, and just going back, like, dang, man, if one play was different, if we get one more stop or one more bucket, like, that game is over, right? You got to make the plays down the stretch and give the Houston Rockets credit. They made the plays down the stretch, and we didn't.
This Rockets team is off to Vegas. When in doubt, bet on red or black. Boy, it just feels like a coming-of-age moment potentially for this Houston team, an ascending team in the West.
I'm ready to go right now. Let's go to Vegas. A couple days ain't Vegas. You know what I mean? A couple days in Vegas ain't gonna be too bad.
Bright light city, gonna set my soul on fire. Got a whole lot of money that's ready to burn, so get those stakes up higher. There's 1,000 pretty women waiting out. They're all living the devil may care, and I'm just a devil with love to spare. So Viva Las Vegas! Viva Las Vegas!
Where we at?
Vegas. Touchdown. It's colder than I expected. I ain't never played in Vegas since Summer League, so y'all know what happened last time.
Oh, there's blackjack and poker and the roulette wheel. A fortune won and lost on every deal. All you need is strong heart and blues.
1, 2.
How many poker chips are in here?
I need to guess. Definitely more than 4.
Yeah.
Is it 300? No. She just thiefed it. You got that on camera?
450.
450, right?
450.
Oh, yeah, 450. All right, get out of my photo. I need to take a photo.
Giannis, where are we headed?
Go to Vegas, baby. Roll that bones.
7.
Roll that bones, baby.
Roll it.
Yes,
Lucky
sir.
7.
Pick them up. You're a winner.
Well, I'll always remember that I had a swinging time. I'm gonna give it everything I've got. Lady luck, please let the dice stay hot. Let me shoot the sun with every shot. So, Viva Las Vegas! Viva Las Vegas! Viva Las Vegas! Viva Las Vegas!
Mike, I think Oklahoma City is a legit threat to win a title. The Houston Rockets, yesterday at practice, they started on the offensive end of the floor for the first time under Ime. Like, you know, everything's built on defense. They know they've got to raise their level offensively. You surprised at that?
Well, I'm not. I think that shows a level of trust that Ime has in his team, that they understand the defensive concepts, and he knows they're going to have to score the ball to beat this OKC team, so he wanted to give a little bit more emphasis to that. One of the things I like about this matchup is Dylan Brooks, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, both play for Team Canada, both very, very familiar with each other. The style of play, the antics from both. So to see these two match up and also playing for their country makes that kind of matchup a little bit more intense.
Dort gets a clean look. High arcing shot is good. It's the third meeting of the season between the two. The first one in Oklahoma City, Thunder won big. The second one in Houston, the Rockets with a very impressive victory. And here they are for the third time this season.
The third contest of the 2024-25 regular season between Houston and Oklahoma City was played in Las Vegas and also served as the semi-final in that year's Emirates NBA Cup. The eyes of the basketball world were squarely focused on the young Rockets team and NBA title hopefuls, the Thunder. Both teams struggled on offense during the opening quarter. Houston uncharacteristically turned the ball over 6 times, with half of those coming from Alperen Sengun.
Fred, neither team shot particularly well in that first quarter. Just what was slowing you guys down?
It looks like the number 1 defense versus number 2 defense to me. Obviously, it's a new environment, so some guys a little jittery out there, but I like our compete level. We just got a first team to start making some shots to be all right.
Eason lines it up and nails the three-pointer. Eason, 8 points in 7 minutes off the bench. The Rockets are shooting 25% from the field. The game is tied. Jalen Williams gets a clean look. Van Vliet looking to push. Throws it ahead to Thompson. Thompson up and down and a foul. Amen Thompson with a chance for a three-point play on a perfectly executed fast break. Gilgeous-Alexander, the crossover, the drive, gets to the rim. Double clutch shot is no good. And the first half comes to an end. Well, for the Thunder, the fewest points they've had in a half this season. Just 41 points.
Well, we made it really tough on them. Other than the Gilgeous-Alexander free throws, to give him seven free throws, I think we guarded him extremely well. 3 for 12 from the field, limited him to 2 offensive rebounds, and really mucked it up.
Dort dives and comes up with it. Here's Wallace. Wallace goes at Sengun and throws it down. But Lou Dort with the hustle play that he does night in and night out. And the Thunder up by 3. This is their largest lead of the game. And now it's tied again as Jabari Smith hits a 3. Jalen Green with a three-pointer. And a timeout quickly called by OKC. Rockets back up by 3.
In the second half, both teams settled into the game and began to knock down the shots with more consistency.
Wiggins goes up top. Nice save from Gilgeous-Alexander. Shot clock winding down. Stolen. Thompson glides in and puts it up and in. The shooting percentages have gone up a little bit. 41% now for OKC, 34% for Houston. The first half was just completely dominated by the defense. Welcome back. The Emirates NBA Cup semifinal, fourth quarter underway. Right now a 6-point lead for the Thunder. The winner plays Milwaukee Tuesday night. Jabari Smith misfires. The tenacity and competitiveness has been off the charts. The offense has been a struggle at times. There's a beautiful connection there. Williams to Hartenstein. Offensive foul. Thompson barrels in. And Joe draws the charge. Dort on the drive. Oh, what a block from Smith. Dort at the rim, and Jabari Smith threw it into the crowd. Plenty of time still left on the shot clock. Gilgeous-Alexander steps back and rattles in a 3.
Now that's heavily contested. That is heavily contested.
Houston's defensive hustle didn't let up, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander wouldn't be denied.
This goes back to Ime telling us pregame. One of these teams has an MVP candidate and a first-team All-NBA guy multiple years.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 30 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 13 free throw attempts, and a tremendous second half by the Thunder. The Rockets, again, one of the surprise teams in the NBA, came in with the 5th best record in the entire league, but the defense difficult tonight against the Thunder, and they fall short of their hopes of winning the NBA Cup.
Like, they have no chance in an OKC playoff series. They're just not going to be able to get shots they want. OKC just strangled them. It's like, we're going to talk boxing later. It was like watching the boxer who just doesn't let the other guy breathe, and the guy just is trapped in the corner against the ropes, just trying to hang on. That's how I felt watching them offensively. Sengun's probably the safest bet. No, I don't trust any of their perimeter guys. And they don't have that one guy who's like, all right, 1-point game, 3 minutes left, like, kind of take us home. They go to Fred VanVleet. I don't trust Jalen Green at all. Like, you go on down the line. But I like a lot of their players, and I do think they have an identity.
and stalk it up.
Get it right. What do you take
What type of sauce y'all like?
Houston found themselves with a short 5-day break and used the time to get into the holiday spirit.
You know, Houstonians, we stick together, we help each other out, and that's what it's about.
Their next game was at home against the Pelicans and was the first of a favorable 4-game stretch.
Şengün got a piece of it. Poke back to Brooks. He'll race the other way. The lob, Jalen Green up and down.
That was pretty. Rockets going showtime. Jabari saw that lob the whole way.
Ime Udoka went deeper into his bench, utilizing 12 total players including rookie Reed Shepherd and Cam Whitmore, who had recently returned to the main roster following a stint with the Rio Grande Valley Vipers.
Fans are hungry. The fans are hungry. Trey Jemison, a 41%er. Just missed the first. Missed them both. Bricks for burgers.
That's big time. Give the people what they want. Give the people what they want and a challenge. And give the people what they want. Cam Whitmore checking into the ball game.
Cam Whitmore checking in. He's been really good in the G League during his very brief minutes he spent here with the Rockets this season. Has really struggled, particularly with his outside shot. Cam Whitmore comes away with it.
Did not take long for Cam to get on the board.
Good win here tonight for Ime Udoka and the Rockets. A 20-point win, one of their best offensive nights of the season.
But Jimmy Butler to Houston intrigues me too because of something you said earlier, Bill, which is like, who's their guy at the end of the game? We don't have that guy. And Jimmy's from Texas. You could see Ime talking himself into Jimmy Butler.
While the national media continually brought up Houston in potential trade scenarios, the team continued to grow together and improve their team chemistry. They crossed the border for a game against the Toronto Raptors, who hadn't won since December 3rd.
A Sunday night from downtown Toronto. Fred VanVleet and the Houston Rockets are in town. The first of two meetings this season between the Rockets and the Raptors. 5 seconds. Abaji rises up and the three doesn't go. And that's going to do it. Rockets hold on with a 114-110 victory against the Raptors.
But I do think, Bill, Houston, they doth protest too much about how they're going to keep this team together, right? Like every time you see like a quote from Raphael Stone or some reporting coming out of Houston, it's, we want to keep this team together and see what it has. And I get that, but if you have a chance to supercharge your roster with a defensive-minded veteran that would fit in pretty well, I think, in Ime Udoka's system and his culture, I think you've got to at least take a swing.
The very next night, the Rockets returned to the United States to face the Charlotte Hornets, the team who had upset them on opening night back in October. Injuries to Dylan Brooks and Tari Eason allowed Udoka to showcase the depth of his roster as Jason Tate and Cam Whitmore had impressive performances off the bench.
Cam Whitmore styling and profiling here at the home of the Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
Woo! Merry Christmas from the Nature Boy!
Happy holidays and Merry Christmas to one and all. And yes, the Rockets gift to all of you as they head into the Christmas season with 20 wins and only 9 losses, sweeping this back-to-back.
He's an all-star shot creator, efficient, clutch, and in his absolute prime, 27 years old. He's also somebody that grew up in Houston, really well-liked teammate and person. Can you think of any reason why the Rockets should not pursue De'Aaron Fox?
For me, it comes down to the asset cost. I think if you have to dip heavily into the Phoenix stockpile of picks and the Suns are struggling and you think you have a path to Devin Booker as soon as next offseason, one thing I was told when we went through this exercise last offseason in terms of potential star chasing and the options available, the 2 names at the forefront of the Rockets list really around the entire NBA were Devin Booker and Donovan Mitchell. Mitchell, for the time being, I think is off the market given how strong Cleveland has started the season. But with the Suns at 500, I don't think Booker is ungettable at all. Yeah, there are absolutely scenarios where the Suns basically have their hand forced, and because you have their future picks, you're in a uniquely valuable spot to them as a trade partner.
Secret Santa.
Did Santa really bring this? Oh, it's a mug. Okay.
Oh!
You got big.
Piece of roll. I'm gonna eat some today.
Not a big deal.
On Boxing Day, Houston faced the Pelicans once again, this time in New Orleans. Jalen Green once again had his way with the Pelicans' defense, and Cam Whitmore put up a career-high 27 points. The Rockets flew back to Houston for a 5-game homestand that would take him through to the start of 2025 and promised to be much more competitive than the previous 4 contests. First up were the Minnesota Timberwolves, who Houston had already defeated in the group stage of the NBA Cup a month ago. The Rockets put on a dominant display in the second half and held a 16-point lead with just under 5 minutes remaining.
Now don't get too cute. Still better than 3 minutes to go. Yeah, got to close it out. Minnesota's still in this game. DiVincenzo. To Alexander Walker. Heaves it. Hits it. To Edwards. Tate switches on him. Shoots the off-balance 3. Oh, he made it! You just talked about it. Off-balance heave for 3 on the wing. And Minnesota up 1 after trailing by 16. Shot clock is off. Rockets can win it.
Low, big fella.
2 on Şengün. To Van Vliet for 3. No! Rebound Minnesota! The collapse is complete! The Rockets blew a 16-point lead!
Following their disappointing loss to the Timberwolves, Houston's final game of 2024 would be against the Miami Heat.
Desperately need a bucket. Got to get it inbounded, though, and they can't. No, they don't give him the timeout.
Come on.
How did Mark Davis not see Fred Van Vliet signal the
looked at him.
timeout? Oh my gosh, they hit him with a 5-second. Now they just teed up Fred.
I think
and then they just ejected Fred.
In another frustrating fourth quarter, the Rockets were unable to put together any offense, scoring just 18 points and letting the game slip out of their control.
Hero and Amin Thompson locking up. Oh my goodness.
Gets thrown to the floor. Here come both benches. And now frustration's boiling over. And both teams red hot. Amin Thompson and Tyler Hero went after one another.
Just a physical game. I guess that's what happens when someone's scoring, throwing dimes, doing the whole thing. So I get mad too.
What was your vantage point when Amin and Hero got into the scuffle? Do you know what happened there?
I didn't see it live, but I rewatched it, and they were in each other's face, bumping chests a little bit, and one guy's stronger than the other.
And they get the win here at Toyota Center. The final score, 104-100. Again, 9 straight losses for the Rockets against the Heat.
As the team enters a new calendar year, expectations continue to grow and questions about the future will gradually be answered. Will Houston have a representative at this year's All-Star game? Will the roster stay intact or be dismantled in a trade for a star player? Can the team's young, developing players carve out a permanent role for themselves in the rotation? Can the team continue to be dominant on the defensive end whilst developing a more reliable offensive identity?
Like some candy?
Thank you so much.
What would you like?
Reese's, of course. Thanks.
Which one? They're not the same. You want the gummy bears?
A little heartbreak, man. That was a gut punch for sure. That's the first time that organization has been able to deliver a gut punch like that to me in my career. So that's new territory, newfound territory.
You know, as a flag football coach, the ref took one away from me in the championship game. You feel what I'm saying?